Alright guys, welcome to another video. We are out here at Utah Motorsports Campus in beautiful Utah. You guys recognize this if you've watched FD at all. And today what we're doing is we are testing with our Formula D team with João Barion. The car was on the dyno yesterday and today in the morning. They got it all sorted out. Alex from 47 Garage was working on the car, tuning it. He built everything. It's like a totally different car on the engine side and a bunch of changes electronically. So today we're shaking down at the track, figuring out, you know, you can only do so much on the dyno. Sometimes you just got to come to the track, shake it down and find out. And we're working out little bugs like that. So car's an animal. It did almost 1,000 horsepower and some changes to the suspension, but not a ton. And so in some ways, João says it's familiar but different. So we'll see how it goes with the shakedown. But this is our first official time as a team together, working on the car, testing it out, figuring it out. So let's check it out. All right, so I was talking about how the car, he was saying the car's familiar, but a little bit different. So some of the big changes were the steering system. They had electric steering last year, and now it's back to hydraulic steering, which should be better. The electric steering was causing some problems, but this rack was skipping teeth inside. So I don't know a lot about Corvette racks, but João apparently knows about Corvette racks because immediately he's like, "Oh, loosen this up, tighten the tension on the rack," and it fixed it.
We had so much issues with rack last year that I learned it a lot. So actually, it's the first time we really running the C6 rack in the Corvette.
Okay.
We did just a small test last year, and this rack they have like here this screw to adjust how tight is the inside parts. So if it's too tight, we will start to be too heavy the steering, and if it's too loose, we will start to
skipping teeth, which is what happened.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He comes in, he's like, the steering wheel's to the left, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, oh, it can skip, and sure enough, he gets in there with no power steering, skip. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so he tightened it up and it fixed it. So
yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know that on these racks.
Almost all the racks have this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
Yeah.
But everything else feels good?
Yeah.
You happy so far with the car?
Much better with this hydraulic power steering. It's like the feedback from hydraulic one is much better from the electric one.
Yeah.
Electric one, it's always light, so you are always making too much corrections.
Oh yeah, and this one's heavier. It gives more direct feeling.
Yeah.
And then the cable throttle, it was electronic throttle last year. Do you notice a difference, or it's the same thing?
Yeah. I think the biggest difference is also in the feeling, because the electrical one were too light, so were difficult to modulate the throttle, no feedback. So this one I feel better. I feel like electrical one heavier is better than cable, because you can like have different setups for different gears.
Yeah.
But cables work fine. I just want to be reliable, so let's go to cable.
Yep. And then the whole car is rewired with a PDM, and we only had one little problem. We don't even know if it's the PDM's problem yet. It's just the way the fuel pump cut right before rev limiter. So it's like, what? So we just bypassed it right to the fuse. Problem went away, so Alex is gonna go back and check that. But to have a full rewire of the whole car and have almost no problems is pretty impressive. Yeah. Alex is really top notch when it comes to this.
Did you show how it's inside? Is like PDM.
Oh yeah,
it's so better, and We took out so many weights from the car just with the wires.
It's crazy.
It's
really well tucked, and everything's just right here, so it should be really easy to access. Minimal wiring, which is awesome. Awesome.
But you need to have one spare because it's all electrical. If this came off, you're you need to have one spare.
Yep. But it's pretty much the same car with different stuff on it. I mean, like most of the systems are really the same. The suspension's the same, and it drove good. I mean, you had it figured out, so why make big changes, you know?
Yep, that's true. The car was really fast last year, really handle. We're, I think, just about to be more reliable, but the car were perfect. Like, not perfect, but were really good.
And the engine is the same engine, but higher compression.
Yeah.
Lower boost.
Lower boost and higher compression.
But similar
like,
horsepower.
I never had problem with high horsepower, like a high RPM.
Yeah.
The problem were always in low RPM, so high compression will help a little with that. So.
Do you notice any difference today? It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell because it's not a grippy track here. So.
And you're on small tire. He didn't even test with the big tires today.
No.
But it looks fast.
It
looks really fast. It sounds good. The engine sounds healthy.
The car is always fast. So.
Yeah.
One thing from the Corvettes, like the rear suspension, every time that you push throttle, it starts to get stowing. So helps with speed. It's the opposite from BMW.
Yeah. That's good. So more testing. One more day of testing, right? Or 2 more days?
2 more days.
Cool.
2 more days.
That should be good. And then off to Long Beach.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's get it. This guy travels more than anybody I've ever seen.
I do travel a lot.
He's flying back and forth everywhere around the world. He's always somewhere different every week.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. He was
I'm
in Salt Lake.
going to Brazil today.
Yeah.
To São Paulo. I will get married on this weekend. On Monday, I'm going to do a practice in a new track in Brazil. It's like a mountain track, amazing, in Belo Horizonte. On Wednesday, I will be back here. Yeah.
You're crazy, man. You must have 10 million sky miles. You're always going somewhere. Okay, until next time.
See you, man.
Ciao. Alright guys, we arrived. It is midnight here in Los Angeles and we just arrived. A couple things have happened recently. João came to California early to come testing, brought the car down, and he took Alex with him, and they had some sort of a problem with the head gasket immediately that first day of testing. So they worked on that, got it back out to the track, and then today the car caught on fire. We don't know exactly what caused it. We haven't had much communication with them, but we arrived and we're here to help them get it all ready. It's midnight on Wednesday, so Thursday morning, and then Thursday we have tech today and all sorts of stuff going on. So we're here as the relief crew. I think Alex has been working probably nonstop for probably 24 hours or something. Yeah. So we don't know exactly what's going on yet, but we know that there's work to do and we got to go figure out what's going on with the car. So this is the beginning of our journey for this weekend. We'll see how things play out, but I know the car is capable as long as we can get everything back together and it's good to go. You know, fires happen. It happened to James Dean. It happens. It's just something that happens on a drift car. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a huge problem. It could have just been a fuel injector O-ring. It could have been a small oil leak. It could be something small. If we can repair all that and make sure it's good, it could be back to normal. There's nothing to say that it's a major problem, but we gotta go see what's going on. So on to the next step. All right, so it looks like the problem with the car is battery cables. There was some abrasion on the battery cables, which caused the cables to catch on fire. One of the fuel lines got melted, so need a new battery cable, a short fuel line, and steering rack. There was a steering rack issue, so pretty short list of things to do tomorrow. We're gonna wake up early, drive all the way to Willow Springs. We're staying in Long Beach, so we're gonna drive all the way to Willow Springs, which is about 2 hours, and then get all that stuff sorted. João wants to do a little bit more testing, make sure the car is solid before we come back to Long Beach, because once we're in Long Beach, you can't drive the car, right? Only practice. But we do have to get tech inspected tomorrow. So we have our list of tasks, so we're gonna get some sleep, get about 4 hours of sleep, and then right back up. Let's go. All right guys, we're out here in beautiful Willow Springs. They rented a garage to fix the car, so we just showed up. We're gonna start working on the steering rack replacement. Alex has got to go chase down some battery cable stuff so they can get the battery cable fixed on the car. That's what was causing the. That's what caused the fires. The cable shorted out. So there's not any real damage from the fire, other than obviously that cable needs to be replaced. It was going under here, and it was rubbing along here, so it caused the cable to short out. And obviously that's unfused because it's the unfused side between battery and the switch. So unfortunately, that's how that went down. Something happened with the steering rack that caused it to come apart right here. But this is one of the things we talked about, was the possibility of changing racks quickly. So things were kind of designed on this car for the quick rack replacement. By the time I'm done this video, Jake's gonna have this rack out already. Anyways, we just gotta disconnect all that, swap this rack out. Alex is gonna work on fixing that, put the supercharger back on, and hopefully get a couple test laps in today before we have to go to Long Beach. But we gotta be out of here today. We gotta get tech today, so this is all gotta get done really quick. So Jake got the rack out. I was messing with these tie rods when we were at UMC last time. One of the threads was stripped out, and we didn't have time to mess with it yet. It was working, but it wouldn't lock, right? Like the threads were, there's the threads. So since we're doing all that, I figured, why don't we just get the length on all these arms? We'll center the threads on both sides, right? So instead of being like this, we'll have, equal thread on both sides. And then my measurement on here was 15 1/8, the other side was 14 3/4, so they're pretty close to 15. We're gonna try and center everything. And then since these are all our spare tie rods, I wanna set them all to 15 inches. So if we have to replace something really quick, we literally just boom, throw it on, and we're not starting from zero. We're starting from a point that's probably really close, but at least if we don't have time to align it, it'll be drivable. So I'm gonna take the time to go through center these up, and then get them all at 15 inches. Is this the new rack?
Yep, new rack. You can see right there where the crack is.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So somehow
well, this is that we were messing with this at UMC.
Yeah.
Probably just put too much tension on it and pulled that apart. That's a lot of load on the rack.
It was skipping weird.
Yeah.
You see, like, you turn it and it wouldn't even turn the wheels.
I really hope that is an indicator of more problems we're gonna have with other racks. If that's like a lot of load on the rack or something weird about this setup, I hope this doesn't become a problem. Hopefully it was just that rack that was problematic. This one looks like it's reman. I think they send them out to some company to have them modified and built. So hopefully this one's good. Was it pretty hard? What did it take you, 15 minutes to get it out?
Probably would have been faster. Now I know exactly like what all has to come off to get it out.
Yeah. So you just dropped the cooler, that's the only thing in the way?
I dropped the cooler, disconnected the sway bar.
And the intercooler pipe?
And then took this intercooler.
Oh, you did take the sway bar?
Yeah,
okay.
That way you can just like down, you know. That's the bulk of it right there that has to get out.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and these aren't splined like Nissans and stuff. No, it's only got the one flat side.
It only goes on one way.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice. We're gonna take advantage of this opportunity to center up the steering wheel, center the steering rack, center everything up, and hopefully start with a good baseline setting. Engine's all back together, supercharger's on, everything's good. We did some steering stuff in the front, and Alex is getting ready to check it out. They put new injectors, head gasket. ¿Qué más? I think. Oh, and then the the electric wires. So yeah, the main battery cable. That's actually what was. There was some abrasion under there, and that's what caused the problem. Luckily, none of this harness was damaged. That would have been a huge problem. So all that stuff was still good. A couple of fuel lines were changed, and so now it's time to test it out. Everything should be good. Everything should be good. having some pressure problems with the cooling system, so we're suspecting maybe the other side head gasket blew. Alex only changed one side when he was here because that was the one that had low compression. Now it's acting like maybe there's symptoms on the other side. So we're doing a few more tests because we have to go to tech like right now, and we can't test at Long Beach. So whatever we figure out here, we have to do it and then send it on track. All we have is practice tomorrow. So we got to get as much testing done as we can right now. That way, if we have to change that head gasket tonight, we need to know here because we cannot test in Long Beach. So this is probably our last little test here to see if the pressure goes up. If pressure goes up and stays up as the car cools down, then obviously there's a problem. If pressure goes up and then comes down as the temperature cools down, then that's not really indicative of a head gasket. So hopefully, we took a little bit of water out so there's room for expansion inside of there, so it's not gaining too much pressure, because we put a 30 psi cap and we're getting almost 30 psi of pressure. So I don't know if they're overreacting or if there's actually a problem, but we gotta test it and figure out, because if we're doing a head gasket, we gotta know right now. Então, what's up? It's good? Yeah? No problem.
Não subiu.
Nice.
No problem.
Nice. How does it drive? It's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. You excited? It only takes one lap to make smiles. Everything goes from down to up that quick. Yeah. Let's go to the track. It's not that I didn't want to stay up while not doing a head gasket after sleeping for 3 hours, but you know, it looks like everything is good. Looks like everything's good, so that's great. Because they did retorque the other side head, so hopefully that saved the other head gasket. Everything's good, everything's so get some laps. We gotta load up and get out of here.
Tá caindo mais a temperatura, tá nos 202 graus, pressão 63. Uma coisa, João, que eu acho é a roupinha.
So, I guess we still have some doubts whether it's working or not. He was going to do 2 laps. He did 1 lap and then said the pressure was too high. So now he's worried about doing a 2nd lap, and we got to get out of here. So we are unsure right now.
No, come back with the truck. Come back.
We're unsure right now what's going on, but we got to get out of here. So I'll update on the road. So he said the temperature went up. And it's staying up. The pressure's staying up. So that's indicative of a problem. But we'll see soon. We'll see. We're gonna load up and get on the road. So we're sitting here talking about maybe how we can find out if it's a bad head gasket. And Alex was explaining how he figured it out the first time, right? Because on a V8, you don't just take off the cylinder head and figure it out. You got to choose which 2 cylinder heads you're gonna take off. So how do you find the bad cylinder? So how'd you figure it out?
So we have a coolant pressure sensor in this car, and what I thought is that if during the let's do a compression test, because what happened is, even if we do like a cylinder leakage test, we can find the problem, but for that moment we only have the compression test gauge. So I went in each cylinder and then did a compressor test, and then in the screen for the fuel tank we have the sensor for the fuel pressure, for coolant pressure. And during the test, so we did the number one, the cylinder number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then during the cylinder number 3, we could see that the coolant pressure was a little bit high during the test. So the other 7 cylinders,
while cranking it.
Yeah.
So every time you get compression.
Yeah, we do the crank. Normally wait to do the compression test. Okay. But the only thing, because we have the compression, the coolant pressure sensor, we could see if something is gonna like leak to the water system from the chamber, you know. And then in the cylinder, the only one was the cylinder number 3. So we could see that during the crank, with the gauge in the spark plug position, we could see that we do have compression, like 150 psi, but also like 5-7 psi, like leaking to the water system. And then this is why we choose to only remove the driver's side cylinder head, you know. And then it's boom, we found the bad.
Was the compression the same on number 3? Was it lower?
No, the same. Still the same.
So if you use compression to try and figure it out, it wouldn't work.
No.
You have to combine those 2 tests.
Yes, you have to have that sensor, you know. And also you have to have that sensor in a good position. So if you put the coolant pressure sensor, let's say, in a radiator, it's not going to work. It's too far.
Yeah.
You have to. So I made a hole on the top of the oh gosh, I forgot the thermostat. The thermostat housing.
Yeah.
I drill a hole and tap it like a 1/8
NPT.
Yeah, NPT, and then there's a sensor in there, you know. And so for us now, the thing that we are trying to figure it out, it's the best water pressure for the system, because something changed. We changed a lot of things from the last year, and then the cards, it's a little bit different. We have a higher compressor.
So you can't rely on the same data from last year.
We have like a base.
Yeah.
But we can't say it has to be the same way.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
This guy's pretty smart.
Huh.
Smart guy. All right, we made it out to the track. I spared you guys all the boringness of moving stuff and setting up and moving wheels and opening boxes and all that stuff. But we got the car out here. We are checking some more stuff. There might be an issue with the head gasket. Still don't know. We're gonna do some tests and see what's up. But this year the car's going in that Sim Magic trailer along with Ryan Literal. But basically we have that whole thing with a, what do you call it, lounge in the back, and then 2 cars. And then on the other side of the Sim Magic trailer will be all the simulators set up for users to come through and experience the sim. So that'll be a really cool setup. But right now we got a bunch of work to do, so get to it.
What's up, man?
You find any problems?
No, not yet.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yepa!
Yep. All the plugs are out. Is that a problem? This is the side that was already replaced, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead. Can you remove the thing that you just did?
All right, so this is it. We are doing the head gasket tonight. It is
look at that.
What is it?
Hey, don't cut many. Go over there. Show many.
What is it? 9 o'clock? 10 o'clock? I don't even know.
I don't want to see.
And we're just starting on it. So this is the side that's more difficult because the alternator bracket. So Alex did the other side, and that's a lot easier.
Oh,
because
you're
there's nothing in
saying
the way.
that I did the easy one.
You told me that.
Oh, you're
Those
saying
are your words.
because I got it. Ah,
So-
Alex could do that one because it was the easy one. I got it.
Maybe it's not that easy, but it's easy.
Because of that alternator bracket, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But either way, it's a V8, so it's pretty easy because there's no timing chain. There's nothing in the front to interfere like a overhead can.
Say it again.
What? It's easy. It's easy. It's easy.
And then it's better because it's V8, not 2J.
Oh, no. Oh, come on. As long as your hands are there, it's easier for me.
way easier to change a camshaft on a 2JZ though.
So we're just jamming out to 80s playlist and just working away.
The headers.
Yep. Maybe I like that. We're cruising. Hasn't been taking very long. Really, the hardest part was taking that piece off the front. It didn't even take that long to do.
Yep.
Hopefully, when we get it off, we'll find what the failure was.
I hope so.
That always gives you some confidence when you find out what it was. If you can't find the failure, then you're just kind of like crossing your fingers, hoping that that was actually the problem. But either way, João decided this was what we're gonna do, so that's what's happening. You want proof that I touched a V8 engine?
Yeah, now you know what is good.
Nobody. If it was good, we wouldn't do taking it off.
No, I don't say that, because if you had to do that on the track in a 2JZ, you're in trouble.
Oh, okay. I've had a lot of problems with 2JZ, but never a head gasket. Never. You see a problem?
Let me get the flashlight.
Check the gasket.
Honestly,
Don't see anything, huh?
look, this line,
Yeah.
it's perfect. Like,
There's no break in the line.
Not missing. This is the seal line, you know what I mean? Maybe here. This one is the 6. One thing that I don't like it's why it's too dirty. You know, this junk thing.
Inside the coolant passage?
I don't know. It's everything new. Everything. I cleaned the radiator, like the hose. The engine is brand new, and then we already had that thing, you know?
Yeah. All right, it's 11:52. Cylinder head's prepped. The engine side's prepped. We got the new gasket in place, and we're ready to go together. So probably another hour and a half, and this thing should be running, if that. I took it off, so now you can put it on.
Yep. My turn.
Okay.
Can you see back there?
Yep, it looks okay.
Sure?
Yep, gasket straight.
I didn't find the dowels. Oh, yeah.
There's one.
Okay.
Looks good. You need the studs?
Yes, please.
Okay. I should clean these off. Let's do that. I think it's like 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. We got it finished up. Took a little bit longer. We still have to move all this stuff, get our pit set up inside there. So we got a little bit more work, but hopefully we get a little bit of sleep tonight. Basically, we have to warm the car up right now, get it up to temperature, shut it off, take the valve cover back off, re-torque the head studs, and then hopefully it's good. We can't test it tonight, but fingers crossed that there's no more problems with coolant pressure or overheating, which it didn't really overheat, it was just high coolant pressure. So everything we did, replaced this head gasket and all this work, was to try and combat the high coolant pressure, which we assumed was from a bad head gasket, but we didn't see any failures on the gasket, so always fingers crossed that it's fixed, right? That's crazy, a hot retorque that they're moving that much.
6.
So this is after warming up the car a little bit, not even driving it, just warming up at idle. And look how much the hot retorque is moving those. That's crazy. What's the spec, 115? Oh.
That's wild. Can you push it down? Seven.
That was 9.
Wow.
8.
10.
It's after 1. We don't know how to count anymore.
What's that spec? The final spec?
I did all 10, right?
Yeah. I was
mess up with
watching.
me.
No, no, it was all of
I'm not
them.
gonna sleep at night.
It was all of them.
You did 8, 7, 8. Instead of 8, 9, 10.
Well, I did it. I did it.
It's almost 3 in the morning. That's it. That's it for today. Hopefully the car's good. We'll be back tomorrow to see what's up. RTR is right next to us. They literally pulled James Dean's car back into the pits like a little less than an hour ago. And I heard it run. I can see the front end of it. It's not burned anymore. So amazing work by the RTR team. We had our own challenges, but it's nothing compared to what they're dealing with. So we'll be back tomorrow. See you guys in the morning. Bye.